live and get it popping. All right, so we are back at it. Y'all already know what time it is, and you know how I like to start off my lives. We got to make sure the technicals is all straight and everything is good. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the disclosure slash disclaimer. So please note that the following is not legal or financial advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the entire loss of your investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Please do your own due diligence and research before making any investment decisions. All right, so we're tapped in right quick. We are tapped in. We got a few people in the building. I see RJ, I see user 68. We got Ella Dan. We got a few people coming through. OGE watches. Thank you for coming through. So we just read the disclaimer and we want to just go ahead and take a look at what was the trade or trades of the day. You feel me? Feel like I gotta fix up the get the curls right and whatnot. But all right. So y'all heard the disclaimer. Let's go ahead and bring up what I was talking about in the Discord. Let's shrink this on down so it can fit in this screen here. And let's go over to the trading chat room, which is right here. And let's talk about what I was looking at today before the market opened. Let's move this over. All right. So before the market opened, I was looking at Walmart, and this was literally 1 minute before the market opened. I was doing my charting, right? So I said, here are my charting notes for June 21st, 2024. Walmart, looking for Walmart to come down into this SR zone. So down here in this orange area and enter potential calls. Or if the price gets up to around $68.64, which is this blue shaded area, I'll be looking to take some puts. So we want to see how that played out today. And I think today I kind of jumped the gun on a few of my trades. I had two trades today. I had one winner, one loser. And then, of course, even when the market is open, right, I am still actively charting, still looking for plays that fit my setup. And so if we go over to Curtis G24's trades, I put in my current progress for June P&L. So I had one heavy blow right here for Monday. This right here really damaged my profits. If I didn't have this loss, I'd be up like $800, but I'm still green for the month. Just got to kind of fight through it on the last week. But we will go back up here and look at me entering in right here. So I got into some SPY calls, and this was about 6:32 a.m. So right when the market opened, and then I was in there for a long, long time. Now, if you guys are new to my trades, if you've seen me trade before, you know that I'm primarily a scalper, and most of my successful trades, my profitable trades, they typically pan out in 10 minutes or less. Anytime I get to a stage where I'm in a trade for more than 10 minutes, it's usually not a good sign for me. So if we go back up, right, we see that I entered at 6:32 a.m. and then I didn't get out until 8:06. So over an hour and a half I was in here. And basically, let's look at what happened. I said I exited slash stopped out of my SPY calls. Overall, a bad trade and some bad contracts. Even with the price getting up to 545.21, which is about 64 cents above my entry, my contracts were still down. Lesson learned from this trade: when the contract pricing is bad, even with considerable moves in your direction, go ahead and exit. So fortunately for me, I kept the loss small. I know you guys could barely see that. I probably need to zoom in, but it was an 8% loss, so about $84, which isn't too bad. Yo, Zach, thank you for coming through. ADL, Anthony, thank y'all. Don, what's going on? My guy Torrance Brunt, thank you for coming through. Angelica, Cliff, all of y'all, all of y'all. But then I was able to get some get back with the Walmart puts. So, like I said, we go over to the charting or the trading chat room. So in the Discord, we got the trading chat room. And I did say I was looking at Walmart. I was looking for Walmart to come down into the support and resistance zone or to get into this blue area, right? We were looking for Walmart to get into this blue area. And so that's what we want to check out. And that's what we want to look at. So let's go ahead and open up the live chart in TradingView to see how we did. All right. Ryan, thanks for coming through. I feel like the internet might be lacking just a little bit. The internet might be lacking just a little bit. There's Chiva, or is it Shava? Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. All right, so let's bring over the let's see what happened with the trades today. Let's get out of that. Let's bring this up. Let's shrink me down just a little bit so I'm not taking up too much real estate right here. And let's look at these charts. Let's see what's going on. All right, Q My Dukes. Big shout out to Q My Dukes. We got a celebrity in the building in the live. Thank you for coming through. Okay, so 805 says, how much money did you make today? Today was a slight loss for me. I will show you. I lost about 60 bucks today. Let me bring up my trading journal. I've actually been building out a dashboard that I'm really, really proud of when it comes to my trades. Um, so those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I use two trading journals. I have one that I built out in Excel, and then I have one that I use called TradeZella, which automatically connects your broker, and then it automatically logs your trade. But I'm thinking about leaving TradeZella just so I can work on building my own. So I've been building out this dashboard for my trades, and this is what it looks like so far. So it's very reminiscent of TradeZella. But to answer your question, 805, for the today, I lost $62.16. So that's how my day ended out. And then here's my performance so far for June. And really, this one day right here really has tarnished my profits. If it wasn't for Monday, I'd be up almost 800 bucks, something like that. But I'm still green for the month. I'm at $223, so I can't complain. The average trade that I trade with is about 1,000. So I'm up, almost 24%, something like that, 23, 24%. So not too bad. Yes, yes. Big shout out to Q Ma Dukes. All right, it's Chet9. Thank you so much for coming through. So today was a lesson for me today. No W, no profits. Today was a lesson, but it wasn't that bad. One of my smallest losses of this month, right? 96 here, 77 here, terrible 540 over here, but today only 62 bucks, so I can't even complain. Yo, Johnny Smash Up, thanks for coming through. All right, we got Jing Chong, thank you for coming through. JD, what's up? What's up? So that's the long and short of it. That is the long and short of it, but I want to take a look at what we were looking at here. All right, let's see, let's see. Okay, so like I said, I was looking at Walmart to come up into this section and then to come down for puts. And this actually played out pretty well. I should have just focused on what I really charted as opposed to getting in on the SPY trade. So we go back over to Trading View. Let's look at the Walmart live chart and look at that. I could have just held on to those puts for the remainder of the day and would have ate good. But I kind of changed it. I changed the shape from a rectangle to a triangle. I was just trying something new. Let me close this over here. All right, so now we're looking at the Walmart chart. And like I said, we're waiting for price to come up into this area. But sometimes what I do is I'll do a reevaluation and then just kind of retighten up the trend line. So what we see was there was a finer trend line that came in. Yo, 595 VERW or VERW or VERW. Thank you for the follow. So what we see was Walmart kind of came and created this new trend where it was using the tops of these wicks as resistance and then bouncing on down. So I ended up entering into those Walmart puts right into this area here, let them come on down into this support and resistance zone that I charted. And then I went ahead and got out and I took those profits, which actually kept my losses for the day small. I was able to claw back some of the stuff that I lost with the SPY trade. But had I had a greater risk tolerance or even just greater patience, I could have caught this move all the way down to the downside on Walmart, which you can see here was technically my next level of PT or profit targets. So I could have just sat on it and made a lot more money, made way more than I lost, and I'd be deeper into the green. But I'm still overall green for the month, so can't complain about that. That is where we're at with it. Um, but the lesson of the day, right, is definitely if it's not something that I really, really have already had my eyes on in terms of charting, use a lot of caution before entering the trade. And then second, I have to keep reminding myself, and I have this so many times on my trading journal, I got to remind myself a whole bunch that when you first enter contracts, right when the market opens, so in the first 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the market being open, contracts are going to be very expensive, right? That extreme volatility, those spreads are going to be wide. So the contracts really haven't tightened back up and they're really inflated. And so that's what happened with me. If we go look at the SPY, if we look at SPY and what happened there, I think, oh, I don't have the levels drawn anymore. But essentially what happened was I got in SPY. Let's go back over to the Discord. Your chart gives me analysis paralysis crew. LMFAO. I got too many. Is it too many indicators on the chart or what? Kyle Murata says there's too many indicators. Well, he says it's analysis paralysis. I don't feel like I have a lot of indicators, but it may be the fact that I have the strat turned on. So that might be what it is. It may be because the strat is turned on, but I really only have two or three indicators outside of my actually charting, my actual trend lines and support and resistance. But what I want to take a look at right now is, let's see, like where I entered, right? When I got in on those SPY, what was it? The SPY puts or SPY calls. So I got in on the SPY calls at 6:32 a.m. at 6:32, and it looks like at 5:44.57. I know you guys can't see it here, but 5:44.57 was the price, right? So if we go to 5:44.57, I don't know why that's open. Let's get some more room here. 5:44.57 on SPY. Where are you at? Let me draw a line so we can see. But all I'm going to do right now for the new traders, the beginning traders out there, is just show when you experience having paid a high premium, a high cost for your contracts, and when price is moving in your direction and you're still negative, then you may want to go ahead and consider getting out. So I said 5:44.47, which is right here when the market first happened. Let's go to, where is it at? Okay, so here it is on this candlestick right here, and I'll blow it up for us. Let's bring it over. So on this candlestick right here is where I entered. Price dropped down, and then it just struggled to come up. But even when price got up to about here, so this orange line is where I entered, right? This orange line is where I got in. Even when price got into this area, my contracts are still down, even when it closed this gap. And so just a reminder, I've seen this and I've experienced this a few times where you've paid that heavy premium. So even if price is moving in your direction, you just got to make up for how much you paid. And I was still down, so I ended up just exiting the trade, fortunately for a smaller loss. Um, but yeah, that was the long and short of it. So for the beginner traders out there, new traders, for sure, just be aware of that. If you ever get into an experience or a trade where even where the trade is moving in your direction and you see that the contracts aren't really moving in correspondence with that, right? You're still down when you feel like you should be up. Uh, don't hesitate to get out, because when it does drop down, it's going to drop heavy on the value and the price of your contracts. Yep. Kyle Murad is spending a lot of time with us. He said the could have, would have, should have crew, LMAO. Like you could have, would have, should have went and spent some time somewhere else, but you are still giving me the view. So I appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you so much. Yo, A Scats, thank you for the live. User says or volatility. Yeah. So user 1272739, you're exactly right. That opening volatility on the price coming out of the gate for SPY, the spreads are a little bit wider. Even with SPY that has a lot of liquidity, we're just paying a little bit more for the premiums. And so with that being said, it's just a lesson learned, and you just keep on pushing. We're still green for the month, and then we still had that green trade with the Walmart. Now I know somebody was talking about, yo, Shango Rose, thank you for the follow, really appreciate you. But somebody first asked thoughts on Apple calls. All right, is that Trivial GS? Triva, I'm not too sure how to pronounce your username, but what calls did you get for Apple? What calls did you get for Apple? All right. Let's see. What calls did you get for Apple? I enter with theta less than 10% of contract value and a delta of at least 2 times theta. Yeah, those are exactly what the contracts were for the SPY. That's exactly what the Greeks were for those SPY contracts. Yeah, so it definitely was that. I just believe, and I could be wrong, I just believe that when the market first opened, I got into those contracts within 1 or 2 minutes of the market being open. And I just think that the contracts were heavily inflated because of the volatility. But the Greeks that you're talking about we're literally the exact same Greeks are those SPY contracts. Yo, Toki FRNK or Toki Frank, what's up, my guy? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. So you know what it is. We're just doing a little trading recap. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. So somebody wanted to ask about Apple calls, but I just want to know which calls you got. What a crazy dump on Apple at the end of the day. Look at that. That is wild. So all of this kind of consolidation and in this support zone right here, I would really think that this would have been a buildup for Apple. But of course, it is Friday, and we might have market makers and the players out there wanting to take profits going into the weekend. I did chart out that Apple was in this decline already. So that was already in my charting notes. All right. All right. I'm doing good, Toki Frank. Doing good. Just a quick little recap. Building out a new dashboard for my trades. So I'm kind of building out this dashboard to show um, basically what I want to do is get everything automated, kind of like TradeZella. You know, if you guys know me, I talk about journaling your trades. So I'm just adding to my trading journal to make it a bit more automated with some formulas so that when the data comes over, it'll automatically just populate in Excel the same way that it populates in TradeZella. So that way I just add some more like a seamless, you know, kind of trading journal logging in, if you will. All right. All right. So Jake Jake New Twin. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I used to trade the strat. That's very smart. Yep, yep. The strat is good for beginners. I keep the strat on there just to pay homage because I definitely used to trade the strat when I was a beginner trader. I still kind of consider myself a beginner trader, if you will, but I don't explicitly use the strat anymore. I leave the indicator on there mainly because I like to see the full time frame continuity right there. That's why I like to leave the strat on, but I also like explaining it whenever we got beginning traders that ask about these numbers or the arrows. But I really mainly just use the strat for the full time frame continuity right here. Other than that, I give all homage and respect to the strat. Rob Smith, rest in peace. Sarah Strat Sniper, thank you for everything that they've done to add to the trading community. Patent it. Let's see. What do you think about Tesla July 19th, 205 calls? I started ICT and got in stand. I started ICT and got in stand success or instant success. Ah, instant success. Yes. I've been hearing a lot of good things about ICT for sure, for sure. But you know, ICT, the strat, all kinds of things like that. You know, all of the different strategies work. It's really just about the individual trader. You know, I've seen people all the time on Twitter or X that are making all kinds of money trading the strat. I see people making all kinds of money trading ICT, and I see people losing all kinds of money trading both of those. So at the end of the day, a big shout out to you, user 1272739, because it's all about, or is that Jake New Twin? Jake New Twin. It's really about the trader. That's all. It's really about the trader. It's not even so much the strategy. It's the trader and the psychology. All right, Sam. Good looking out. Thank you for the follow. I don't know why it got so hot this quick. Okay, time to sell Nvidia. I don't know, man. Yo, Kim, thank you for coming through. But somebody asked about Apple. Let me scroll back up and now they're gone. I wanted to know what contracts they had. And let's see, let's see, let's see. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thoughts on Apple calls? That was Triva LGS. So maybe they already bounced. So I don't know what calls they had, but user 1272739, are you still in the building? Because we could take a look at those Tesla calls. You deserve a follow, brother. Thank you. Oh man, Jake Newtwin, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yep, yep, yep. All right. So user 1272739 still up in here. Let's go back. And they were talking about, what do you think about Tesla July 19th, 205 calls? Jake Newtwin with the follow. So let's go take a look at Tesla. And again, as you guys already know, I can't give you financial advice. I can only give you what I think, which is very subjective. I definitely could be wrong. But let me pull up this Tesla chart. Y'all give me just a moment. It's a little hot. See if we can turn on the AC. All right, I'm back. I'm back, y'all. Just had to go turn on that AC. Let's go check out these Tesla calls. So I charted out Tesla. I kept my eye on it a little bit today. I missed this move down here in this support and resistance zone and bouncing off of this trend line. This would have been perfect for me to take calls. I missed it. I was hoping that it was going to come back down and do the same thing again, but it didn't quite. Maybe if I had kept my eyes on it, I could have got into these. But let's drop back up or go back up to a daily chart. We still are kind of in this daily trend that I've charted out, but we want to see, what are we talking about? So user 1272739 is asking about July 19th, 205 calls. Ooh, 205 looks to be a little bit of a way on Tesla. Let us move this over a little bit. Okay. So we've got 205, which is way up here. And we've got about a month. I don't know. One easy way that I kind of look at price movements, as we already know, right? A stock could pop. Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, SPY, QQQs, they could pop in one day and do something crazy, right? We've all experienced that as traders. A 5, 10, 15, $20 move, $30 move. We've all experienced that. But outside of those days where it's just something crazy happening in the market, we have to kind of be real about how long it takes a stock to travel from one price to another price, right? So the last time Tesla was at 205, let's see, the last time Tesla was at 205, let's see, was, if we look at all right, we got to bring this down a little bit more so we can fit more into the screen. Here we go. There we go. Now we're doing business. Now we're good. Now we're good. So the last time Tesla was at 205, y'all. Let's go over here. Let's bring this down. It's becoming to be a bit more problematic than I would like it to be. Let's say it was, so if you guys could see that at the bottom left of the screen, it was March of this year. That's the last time Tesla was at 205. So it's going to take maybe about that amount of time to get back up to 205. Just looking at price movements, no other technical analysis yet, right? So that would be my first thing. So we might be playing it kind of tight to get to 205 with those July 19th calls, especially since we want to make sure that it's on this upward trend and you're going to have some fluctuating days. If you could buy more time, or if I could buy more time, I would. I just feel like July 19th might be a little tight for the normal price range to happen. I'm not talking about those days where it's going to jump up $5, $10, $15, of course, but for the normal price to happen, and we're currently in what, 182. So we're talking about over $20 in price movements. We just want to be aware with that. So Sanchez Trader Corp, thank you for the follow. James Marvin, thank you for the follow. All right, all right. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. So user 1272739. I hope you're still in the building, man. I do feel that if it was me, I would like to get a little bit more time on those July 19th calls for 205, possibly for like late August, just to give myself some more breathing room, just to be honest, on the normal price movements of Tesla right now. Um, Especially since, we still got a downside gap down here that could be filled. A couple of them. There's one right in here, and then we've got like one up in here. So it looks like there's more potential gravitational pull to the downside that could happen. Of course, obviously, we haven't filled these gaps and we may never fill them. Of course, that's a possibility. But I kind of think of it like a little bit of gravity, right? We're thinking about like SpaceX trying to get out of the Earth's orbit or atmosphere. It's going to take a lot of power. And so I would just want a little bit more time on those contracts. All right. All right. All right. SNC Starbright LLC. Thank you for the follow. Now we had another request to go take a look at something. Giovanni Limbo says, what is a good one to buy tomorrow or soon? Well, I'm thinking for tomorrow, you definitely are referring to Monday because we're talking about options trading. So the stock market. So Giovanni, if you're talking about options trading, and for sure, I'm thinking that you're talking about Monday. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some charting pretty soon and see if we can find some plays to get us lined up for Monday. Okay, all right. Let me see if there was another one. All right, Cosmic Fish, if you're still in the building, they were talking about Microsoft climbing more or falling soon. Microsoft, I think when the last time I looked at it earlier today, had a pretty good day. Let's bring this down. Let's see what we're talking about. And let's go check out Microsoft, which you guys can see was one of the ones that I did today. All right. Thank y'all for running up the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We got a few of us up in here. All right. All right. So we want to take a look at Microsoft. Always start off at that daily chart. And then another thing too, right? I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but if you guys have been in my lives, if you've been on live with me, one thing that I want to get in the habit of is not trying to predict the future, but really just assessing as best as we can what's happening right now with the TA, with the technical analysis. So with the technical analysis, it definitely looks like we are in a resistance zone for Microsoft. We were in this resistance zone. So this was on Monday. It got here in price and then it came down. Same thing with Tuesday. It got here with price and came down. Here we had Thursday that ended as this kind of what they call it, a pin bar, maybe a hammer, however you want to look at it, whatever the case may be. And then today we got here with price and then we came back down. But let's zoom it in because I know that is a little bit small for us on the TikTok user end. So what I would like to see, and it's very simple, but this the way that I chart is right. I just start with the easily identifiable things with my eyes, and then I work my way back to the more broader or more complex things that might not be able to spotlight right away. But the first thing I would like to see, of course, is the breaking of what I believe is their all-time high, right? We want to see the break of that all-time high so that it can run a little bit more. That's the first thing we need. And then you might want to, I don't like to draw trend lines too steep, but we could potentially draw somewhat of a trend line, if you will, from here to here, right? Something similar to about this. And we're just starting off simple. This is just for the beginner traders. We're not introducing any crazy complex concepts, mainly A, because I don't trade with them, and B, I like to keep it simple because my trading performance is a lot better when my trades are simple, and it's a lot easier for the beginners to understand. So that's what I'm all about on my trades, on my lives. But here we are on the daily chart for Microsoft. So we could see somewhat of a pullback going into next week, possibly coming down here and then a continuation up, but we would like to see a breakthrough this resistance zone. So to answer your question, I really don't know. I really don't know. It's always crazy when we're playing in uncharted territory because we have no idea when the market makers are going to decide to go ahead and take that rug out and uh go ahead and push the market back down. So if you are anything that is around or near all-time highs, of course you want to exercise extreme caution. You might want to size down on your trades. You want to tighten up your stop losses, things like that. And then just play a little bit more conservative. I know they say scared money doesn't make money, but no money can't play the game either. Just remember that. All right, so let's see what we got. Thumbs up to Cosmic Fish. Big shout out to y'all for the follows. SNC Starbright LLC says, "What is the best mutual fund to invest in Fidelity?" Wow, I haven't had a long-term investing question in a minute, so I don't know the best long-term mutual fund. We'd have to do some research. I definitely like and enjoy talking about long-term investing. That's the whole purpose of my Discord, is that we take profits from our short-term trades and then we take the money and invest in something long-term. So I do put my long-term portfolio in the Discord. I like to give a week-to-week update. So now that it's the end of the day on Friday, I can go in here and give a portfolio update. But I use Fidelity as well. That's where I keep my long-term portfolio. But I haven't looked at mutual funds in a minute. So that would definitely take me rolling up my sleeves, doing some homework, and then really getting busy with understanding which would be the best one. But I am going to write that down and put it to the side because each week we have an exclusive meeting for the Discord community members. And I'm going to bring that up as something that was asked during the TikTok live about the best mutual fund. So thank you for that. Big shout out. All right. Toki Franks says, save your capital. That's what's up. Cosmic Fish for sure, man. Anything I could do to give value. Rockets. I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow. Self-made 1017. Big shout out for the follow. But yeah, SNC Starbright LLC for sure. Got to look into those mutual funds. And I appreciate you for asking about long-term investing, because that's the whole name of the game, right? The fast money from trading is cool, but you got to turn that fast money into forever money or long money. You know what I mean? All right. Money Bounty. Money Bounty, are you still in the building? Money Bounty had asked about Netflix setting up for 3-1. So if we're talking about the strat, it says Netflix is setting up for 3-1. I'm assuming we're talking about the daily time frame. Let's go check it out. I'm assuming we're talking about the daily time frame on Netflix. All right. Let's go check out. Not Inflix, Netflix. All right, all right. Let's see how we're doing. Let's see how we're doing. Netflix is setting up for 3-1. Let's go to that daily. Let's get rid of all my previous charting. Wait, let me take a look at my charting first before we get rid of it. Let's see what I was last looking at. Support and resistance zone right here. There was a gap right here that needed to be filled. Eventually got filled. Netflix that broke out of this trend. Crazy, but now it came back into it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear these out. Let's start off with a fresh little canvas. Okay. All right, so Netflix does have a 3-1, and 1 means an inside day. So if you're new to the strat, that's what these numbers represent right here at the bottom of the candlesticks. It's a part of a trading style or a trading methodology called the strat. Now, the strat assigns a number to each candle. It's either a 1, a 2, or a 3. Now, if you see a 1, that's an inside candle, and everything is based off of the candle before it. So what this 1 or inside candle means is the price stayed inside of the range of the price of the previous candle. So we look at this candle here, and we see from top to bottom, the high and the low, the range in which it traveled. The strat says, okay, this next candle here stayed with inside of that range, and that's why it's a 1, an inside candle. Now, a candle becomes a 3 because it traveled outside of the range of the previous one. So this candle here, it went above the previous candle's high, and it went below the previous candle's low. And then when you see 2s, they're just directional. That just means it either went up or it went down. And so the user, let me see who that was so I can make sure we give credit where credit is due. That was Money Bounty. Money Bounty says Netflix setting up for 3-1. So this is a 3-1 chart pattern. Now, the cool thing about the strat, which I really like I said, I don't trade the strat explicitly anymore. I do leave the indicator on my chart. But if you're a beginning trader, right? If you're a beginning trader and you need help visually kind of IDing or identifying some of the patterns and some of the setups on a chart, you can go to Google and pull up the strat cheat sheet, and it looks like this. So what we want to look for is a 3-1 setup. So here we go. We got some 3-1 setups right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. All right, don't want to do that. That's zooming out. In. All right, let's bring this up. So here we got some potential 3-1 setups where if price on Monday was to be bearish and break below the low of the 1, we could take our entry right at the break of below that low and then ride it on down. And then on the flip side, if price was looking to be bullish, if it breaks above the 1, we can enter and then ride it on up for potential profits. So that's what we got right here on Netflix, and that's what Money Bounty pointed out to us. So we've got this 3-1 setup, and depending on how price is moving on Monday, if it breaks above this high, and depends on what your time frame is, right? So if you're going to stick with the daily chart, or if you're going to go down to the hourly or the 4-hour, the 30-minute, but once price breaks above this 1, we could ride it on up, possibly to the high, and then go ahead and take profits. Or if it breaks below the low, we could take puts down and then take profits there. So that's the nice thing about the strat. It makes it really, really easy to identify some potential entries and exits. So Money Bounty, it's all about what happens on Monday with Netflix and the market. But I'm thinking that the market is going to have some pretty wide gaps. So we might gap up or gap below. That's what I'm thinking. Let's put his timestamp. Let's clip this and let's touch back in on Monday. Y'all come back on Monday to see if Netflix gapped up or gaps below. Okay, all right. Let me go through, make sure I'm not missing any comments. User 1272739 is back. Thank you for coming through. All right. User 1272739. How long did it take to get consistent? So I'm gonna just give you my timeline, a rundown. For me, it took a long time, but that's because I didn't realize how much internal psychological work I needed. So June of 2020 is when I did my first options trade. From 2021, 2022, I didn't take trading seriously, so I just lost thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And then in 2023 is when I said, F it, I need to get serious about this. I need to stop making the same mistakes. I need to start having some control. I need to start having discipline. So that's when I got a trading journal. That's when I invested in more education and things like that. And then throughout 2023 is where I started to see more and more consistency. And now 2024, it's a bit better. Profits are coming a lot easier. Trading is getting a bit easier. I still have times where I slip up and I lose control, but I just wanted to give you that rough timeline. So it took me a couple of years of just bullshitting. Excuse my language. I hope I don't get blocked off of the TikTok right now, but it took me a couple of years of just messing around before I got fully committed. And so just commit yourself right now. Don't trade and mess around. Just commit right now and get through the pain, get through all the discomfort, deal with all of the emotions and psychology, deal with all your shortcomings and flaws and all that so you can get to profit sooner. All right. Sorry. Sometimes I get on the soapbox and I start preaching. All right. Mr. Torrance Brunt says check out AT&T. Yo, Dev, thank you for the follow. Angel Wings Create, thank you for the follow. RP, thank you for the follow. All y'all, I appreciate it. So let's go check out AT&T. Let's see what's going on. Let's check out AT&T and see if we can see any setups, anything like that. Let's see what the deal is. All right. Thank y'all for running up the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do what we got to do. All right. This is just I don't know what I was doing the last time I looked at AT&T, but first we want to change this. No. Let's bring that to 1. Let's get these settings right. Bring that to the daily chart. Let's clear off all of the last times I was in here charting. And then let's see what we got. Let's see here. I don't even want this indicator on here. The MTF order block finder. I'm good on that. Let's bring this up. All right. AT&T appears to be on the daily chart in a resistance zone. Of course, we got a gap to the downside that needs to be filled. Let's see what else we can find out about it, though. So this is what I would chart as a little bit of a support and resistance zone right there, orange shaded area. And then we'll go ahead and mark out that gap. Let's check out that gap. Can I pet that dog? All right. Right there, we got a nice little gap. Now I like to shade my gaps, or I like to chart my gaps with a white shaded area. So we know that that's a gap that could potentially be filled. But we are still in this kind of upward trend. I don't like how steep it is. It's a little hard to chart for my tastes. But I'm thinking we just kind of see going into, let's go back. All right, let's see back here. Let's see if we got any support and resistance. Of course we do in this area, which is kind of choppy. And there's a gap to the upside that needs to be filled. Oh, look at this gap for the upside. So this is way back in, let's see. This is way back in April of 2023. There's a gap to the upside that AT&T needs to fill. So what I would like to see, and it may take a little time, but if AT&T could break above 1867, then we want to take, or I would take some calls to the upside to fill this gap. So let's go ahead and chart this gap out. This is another good find by Torrance Brent. So Torrance is one of the members of the community, and this guy, he always finds some crazy setups, some top tier plays. He found a super good one for Home Depot, so a big shout out to him. But let's bring this in. We got this gap that needs to be filled, and we are kind of right in there with AT&T. So it's trying to fight its way up. It's trying to fight its way up. And yeah, so let's go ahead and zoom it on in. Let's bring it in, and let's see what we're talking about. Yeah. So if we could break into this area, that would be nice. So basically another solid day, a nice bullish green candle on Monday, another solid day that brings us up into here. I would be looking for the continued move to fill this gap to the upside. That's definitely what I would be thinking, barring that there isn't any economic news or industry news or news related to AT&T to the company that's bad. Just normal technical analysis, normal price movements, price action, and trading. Yeah, if we can get up into this area, that would be good. Big shout out to Torrance. Big shout out to Torrance Brunt for bringing out AT&T. The dude does super good research and finding some of these sleeper plays. That is what's up. Thank y'all for the likes. Thank you, Q Dukes. All right. Cosmic Fish says, will you be doing another Zoom for learning options trading? I missed last weekend. Good question. I don't know when the next one is. So the way that I do my Zooms are after I've experienced and I've collected enough new knowledge, or not necessarily new knowledge, but just things that I've experienced in the market that I wish I would have learned sooner, or that I definitely want a beginner to bypass. I put all that information together and then I do another Zoom for options trading. So I like to have the information very fresh so I could have receipts and examples and things like that. But if you did miss the Zoom that I did last weekend or the weekend before, it still is available on YouTube. So I'll bring up my YouTube channel and y'all can see it. It still is available. Y'all can go over to Passive Income University and it still is up for probably another week. So that's what I decided. One way that I could give value just to the general options trading community, especially the TikTok community, is to leave it up for free for a while. And then another way that I could give value explicitly to my passive income university community, my Discord community, is to eventually, I'm just going to make the video private and exclusive for them. But what we want to do is we want to head over to the YouTubes, All right, let's go over here. You want to search for Passive Income University on YouTube. And then we want to go right here. That's what the logo looks like. And as a matter of fact, the video is right below it. This is what it's called, Option Mechanics Part 2, Tools of the Trade. So if y'all go ahead and check that out, it was uploaded 6 days ago. So it'll be up for probably another week before I make it exclusive or before I make it private just for the Discord community. But if you did miss it, you can watch it right now on YouTube for free. There you go. That's right. So Torrance, you saw the same thing I saw. Yo, Kelvin Moss, thank you for joining. We are getting close to 1,000 likes. So I appreciate y'all for the shares, for the likes, for running it up. Please, please, please. Torrance Brun said not too checked out Ferrari today. They said they will have an electric car by early next year. That's what's up. That's what's up. You know, I'm really hesitant on trading some of the automobile companies outside of Tesla in terms of options trading. You know, things like Ford and the other ones, you know, maybe Rivian and Neo from time to time, but other than that, there's not too many options trading ticker symbols out there, or too many automobile ticker symbols that are like really, really good for options trading. Tesla is like the number one in terms of liquidity and volume and the moves and the things that you can make in terms of profit. I'm not knocking Ferrari or any of the other ones. It's just from my experience so far. And of course, that could change at any time. But just a note, just a note. Tokyo Frank is right there with you, Torrance. Said, I read that Ferrari, the racing industry is heading towards EV. Wow. Could y'all imagine? Are you talking about like, you know, Formula One? We're talking about NASCAR. We're talking about those kind of racing industries. That'd be crazy. That would be wild. All right, cool. Cosmic Fish says, cool. I'll check out the YouTube channel. Yeah, it's up there. Definitely want to give value, things like that. Of course, the free videos for PIU are still up, so you guys can check those out. But here is the option mechanics one that I hosted last weekend. All right, all right. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got going on. Let's go check it out. Let's go back to the charts. Let us go back to the charts. So yeah, so that's what we see for AT&T. It is extremely close to getting into a breakout level to close this gap that was formed way back in April of 2023. So what we saw right here, or is that March? That is, yeah, April, May of 2023. This gap was formed, and it's been fighting and fighting to get up here to close the gap. So it looks like it's finally trying to get up there. We got a little bit of gravitational pulls below it, some gaps down here, but I think AT&T wants to continue to push up and get some activity, get some price action in this range. So for me, what I would like to see is very simple, is continue bullish move, bullish trend. And then once we break above in here, especially on a daily chart, I would look for calls to go maybe to like September, October, because it might take us a little bit. Maybe it might take us all week next week to really break out and get in here, and then that's going to put us in July. So we're probably looking at, at least calls that expire at a minimum like end of July, end of August, ideally September, whatever you could afford. That's as close to the money as possible. All right, big competition. TQQQ, thank you for joining. Let's see who the top audience members are. So we've got Torrance Brunt, my guy, Toki Frank. We got Sam, Cosmic Fish, RP, User Maurice, G-Man, and Shango Rose. All right, top viewers right now. Thank y'all so much. But yeah, just a quick recap if you're just joining, if you missed it. So the first trade of the day basically was a bad trade. I got in too early, right when the market opened on the SPY contracts. And so I just paid a heavy premium. And basically, by the time it got way up, I was still down. And I went ahead and exited out of the trade, which was the best move because SPY didn't really move too much in relation to when I entered. So I took a small loss on SPY, but then I had already charted Walmart for puts, and those puts came through. I had to reevaluate and draw a new updated kind of tightened trend line. And so I'll show y'all what I was talking about. Let's go back to the trading chat room. All right, so this is what I said right before the market opened. I said I'm looking for Walmart to come down to the support and resistance zone, which is the top orange area, for some potential calls, or for the price to get up here to this blue area for some potential puts, right? And so it didn't quite get up here to the blue area, which is why I said I had to redo my trend lines, right? I changed it from a rectangle to a triangle, and then I realized we were kind of hitting this resistance each step of the way. Even though we were kind of making these higher highs, eventually Walmart was just giving up. So I got in on my puts right around here, right around in this section. I rode it down into the support and resistance zone and went ahead and got out. Now, had I had more patience or maybe even a higher risk tolerance, I could have stayed in these Walmart puts and rode it all the way down to the end of the day, because we then came down to the next support and resistance zone, which could be the next profit target or price target, if you will. So definitely could have rode those down. But after having the one loss with SPY and not wanting to risk losing even more, playing even more conservative with the day-to-day, I went ahead and took my win and got ahead and took profits and got out. All right, Torrance Brunt says Nvidia loses 277 billion in market value. Analysts sound the alarm on Bitcoin's 10% slump. Are they doing the pullback right now? Thank you for the news update, Torrance Brunt. Are we starting the initial pullback right now for Nvidia? Yo, Badia, thank you for coming through. Thank you for joining. Let's see if we can get to a quick 1K on those likes. All right, so what we want to do is we want to find a play. I want to find a nice strong play for Monday if we can. God's child, thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. Ronald McCoy, I think that was. Torrance Brunt said found that in stock news. That's what's up. Yeah, drop those. Gotta drop that in the Discord, man. We got all kind of stuff. We got the news alerts. Let's move this over. The news alerts in the Discord. That can go there, or it could go in the trading chat room, all kind of stuff like that. It's all for sharing. We're trying to share information with each other as best as we can. But let's see if we can find a nice little play. Let's see if we can find a nice little play for all right, so this is Walmart on the daily chart. I don't know if you guys are on here. I don't know if you guys are on, but earlier somebody said that my charts give them analysis paralysis. I don't know if that person is still on, but that was funny. Because I really don't feel like I use a lot of indicators or a lot of stuff on my charts, but it's all subjective, right? It's all relative. Let's go look at SPY. Man, I was really hoping SPY was going to close this gap. I really thought it was going to handle that today. But it's a reminder, right? So if you've been on my lives before, or if you watched that video that I was just talking about on YouTube, The reason why I have this indicator on here on a daily basis is because I believe, for the most part, not every single day, 100% of the time, but a majority of the time, price is going to respect one of these three levels. And this indicator right here is the SSS daily 50%. And what it does is it marks out the previous day high, the previous day low, and the middle of the row 50%. So where was the middle of where price traveled the day before? And so as we can see today with SPY, look what happened. We had this crazy gap down, and then it had a hard time breaking above the previous day low, which acted as a level of resistance right here for SPY. And so this is why I have this indicator on every single day, and I use it on a daily basis, because for the most part, this indicator is going to be respected in some resort. Like if Monday we might have a gap up crazy, and then SPY might respect this previous day high or this one down here, and it might be an area of support where the price won't go below. So different things like that, something simple. All right, Torrance says he'll send it on the Discord. Just dropped it. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you. That's all about. Yo, GG Blue in the building. Thank you for coming through. So I really want to find a nice obvious play for Monday. A nice, very obvious play for Monday. So we want to just go through the watch list. We want to just keep it super simple. Now it went from being like too hot to like too cold now. It's crazy. All right, we hit the 1K likes. Thank y'all. Appreciate you, TikTok fam. You guys always show the love. But what we want to do is we want to find a nice obvious play. Something very obvious for the next week. Something to get into on Monday. All right. We want to load a layout. Let's see how Apple ended for the day. We'll just start off with the main tickers. All right. Torrance has been here since the beginning. That's right. Yep. Torrance and Toki Frank. I dropped something I think you might want to check out as well. Thank you. Mikey C says thoughts on NNE. Big Bank MTP. Thank you for coming through. Okay, so Apple has officially started this downtrend. Now, this one looks nice and obvious to me. Here's one that looks nice and obvious. What I want to do is we do an initial kind of trend line adjustment on the daily chart. We've got 1, 2, 3 days on the downward trend. Even though this was a bearish day and it technically had somewhat of a higher high and higher low, it helped to start this trend right on the daily chart. Then the next thing I want to do is just come on down and tighten up the trend line. We want to tighten up the trend line on the 30-minute chart or whatever time frame you like to trade. And then to just see, we want to adjust this to something like that right there, just to make it a little tighter. We'll zoom in. So this might be a nice play to have lined up for Monday for Apple. This is what I'm looking at. Right up in ya. Right up in ya. Okay. Now we did have this insane crazy drop, but what I would like to see and what we could do as well is maybe we could create a little pricing channel, maybe, possibly. You just want to exercise caution. Let's use this low to do something like this. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad on the first attempt. I like that. On the first attempt. So what I would like to see is then the next thing we want to do is go draw some support and resistance. And the next level of resistance that we can see is right in this area. So let's go ahead and chart that out. Boom. Bow. I don't know if y'all remember that Super Hot Fire, the cat that used to do the freestyle skits. Boom, bow. All right, so we're going to take this. Let's go ahead and put that in the orange. You guys know I like to do my support and resistance areas with this orange. So technically, if we could come down into here for possibly some calls to the upside, but more so than that, because it's still a little open-ended. I would rather it be closer to the line. So maybe if we gap down, if we started with a gap down on Monday, that would be cool to take calls on the upside to come back up if we gap down into this area. But more so what my eyes see on Apple is if we came right into this area, kind of following this trend, right into this area on Monday, to take some puts to the downside, right? And even this could be some identified areas of support and resistance right in here. So that would be nice as well. I'll even draw that out. I'll even draw it out and we can just kind of, just kind of rock with it a little bit, something like that. So the price come back up in here, or really it would be around up in here and then come on down. But let's see how the market does. I think on Monday we're going to have some pretty strong gaps, either to the upside or the downside. I think that's what the market is going to want to do. All right, all right. Let's see. Ramsin Shamuni, thank you for the follow. All right, so the one squib says thoughts on SPEC, and then we've got a few tickers in here. Mikey C says thoughts on NNE. Got in at 1350. Okay, let's go see. NNE. Let's create a new chart because I don't believe I've charted that one before. We got a few people rocking with us. So, yo, if you're new, if you just joined the live, first and foremost, thank you for coming through. Really appreciate you. My name is Curtis G, and I do stock options trading and investing for beginners. Just some very, very easy charting. I do my trade recaps. I talk about what I charted out. How did the trade go? I show my entries and my exits, and then we just talk about that and learn lessons. Okay, so this is still Apple. Let's go to NNE. NNE, nano nuclear energy, has been trending up. I like to see that. Usually when you guys like tell me about stocks that I never heard of, they're usually like traveling down from sky high down into oblivion. And I don't know what we're thinking is going to happen after so much of a downturn. But we've got the 30-minute. Let's change this to the daily chart. Okay. So while officially, technically, NNE is not considered a penny stock, a penny stock formally or officially, if you're like on Fidelity or something like that, anything that's under $5, they're going to kind of give you the penny stock warning. But this is at, $16 in the post market over here. And is that it? That can't be all the data, is it? Is this a brand new company? Yo, is this a yo, Mikey C, are you still in the building? Is Mikey C still in here? Bro, I thought I bought 80 shares of Nvidia yesterday. You think it's gonna keep dropping the next month? You bought 80 shares? You might as well bought 100 shares so you could issue options premiums. That's what you should have did. I mean, no, I can't tell you what you should have did, bro. I can't give you financial advice, but if you're gonna buy 80 shares at that level, you might as well have bought 100, and then at least you could start selling the options. You could have sold the option and just get weekly income at that level. You know what I mean? At that level, you could have started selling the options. Mikey C says it's a new stock, bro. It has potential. So when we're dealing with new stocks, because this is brand new, bro. This looks like it just IPO'd at the beginning of May 8th. Then I can't even do technical analysis on this. I would have to go into straight up fundamental analysis, look at the company, see what kind of deals and partnerships and things they got going. The company name is Nano Nuclear Energy. So one of the things I would like to see once I start doing some fundamental analysis is if they have partnerships with the government. That would be nice. If they got government grants or government programs. If not that, what are the biggest companies that they have partnerships with? So yeah, there's not enough data here for me to do any real technical analysis, but I appreciate you, Mikey C. It's always good to get new ticker symbols, new stocks to check out. So this is one that we put over on the notes to go look at in the future to refer back to. As a matter of fact, let me open up the notes app. Ooh, you guys don't look at my personal life now. All right, there's secrets, trade secrets over there. But I'm gonna start. This is my first time doing this. I usually do it mentally, but I want to start like putting notes based on what you guys tell me from TikTok to go check out. So I'm gonna do TikTok notes. I want to put N and E, and we want to research the fundamental analysis. And we'll put slash the business model. All right, all right. So yeah, N and E. Big shout out to Mikey C for this. But not enough data here to do any technical analysis in terms of options trading. Let me see what else we got in here. All right. He says, "What you mean, bro? This is my first time in stocks, first investment. Premiums or jacks, sell the call." So Judson is right. Justin's giving us some good games. So I hope you guys don't mind. I want to take this opportunity right now to speak to one of our audience members that said that they bought 80 shares of NVIDIA yesterday. So that's user 354779646 that got the frowning cat emoji in your bio. So what we're talking about, instead of buying options contracts, right? So most people are buying options contracts and then flipping them or trying to sell them for a profit when the value goes up. You can be an option seller once you have 100 shares. So what we want to do is we want to just go over and check out a couple of things right quick. I'm going to go into the options chain. Let me move this out the way. Don't want y'all to get my info. I know how smart you people are in the internet streets. So let me go over here. Okay, it looks like I might already be logged in. Let's go check out Robinhood. All right, let's go see. So we want to go and check out NVDA. Boom. So what we want to go check out is the options chain. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Bruh, enjoy your weekend. Markets are closed. I appreciate you. Let me see who that is. That is JR, the trading wizard. My guy. Shout out to the other traders out there. Appreciate you, JR. Curtis Mixon, Pacha Sarai. Thank you for coming through. Ramson, I see you. I see you. But we're talking to a user who's in the TikTok audience that said they bought 100 shares of NVIDIA or 80 shares. Now, once you have 100 shares of a company, you can become an option seller. You can actually sell the options and get weekly income. So what we want to do is come over here and take a look at how much are options contracts going for NVIDIA. Now, I'm not going to do a full course on option selling or selling covered calls, things like that. I just want to give you an idea of what it is. Of course, I can't give you financial advice, but let me shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so what we're looking at is called the options chain. And the options chain shows you all the different contracts related to a particular ticker symbol. And of course, we're looking at NVIDIA. Let me shrink this down even more. Okay, so here is the options chain for NVIDIA. I hate how it doesn't kind of format down. Let me see if I can work some magic right quick. There we go. All right. So right here, here are the options contracts for NVIDIA. I know it might be a little small on everybody's end. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Now, currently NVIDIA is at what appears to be 126.79. And here are the premium prices. So you could sell, if you got 100 shares of NVIDIA, you could become an option seller, or you can sell any options as long as you have 100 shares of a company, and you could sell some premiums for $125. At least in this very moment, you could get $125 right now selling an options premium for having 100 shares. Or if you wanted to get something into the money, you could sell for 220. Or if you wanted to come up. Now, here's the kicker. Like I said, I'm not going to go into a full course. The kicker when it comes to selling options contracts is that if the price of the stock gets to the strike price that you're selling, right? So over here on the left-hand side, these are the strike prices. Basically, where do you think the price is going to get to? If NVIDIA is to get to 127 by next Friday, then you would lose those shares and you would have to rebuy them over because the market or the broker is going to exercise them for you. I know it's a lot, but basically, for the person that was in the audience or in the chat that said that they had 80 shares of NVIDIA and you're worried about if the price was going to continue to go up or down, you might as well buy 20 more shares, get 100, and then you can start selling options contracts and get weekly income, adding to your position in NVIDIA, if that makes sense, or basically getting revenue to leverage your position in NVIDIA. Okay, all right. Keenan says, how was your day? It was a pretty good day, bro. I had one loss, one profitable trade, one green, one red. Can't complain. I kept my plays extra conservative, so only lost about $60 today. Miriam says, which indicator? I haven't really shown any indicators, Miriam, but we're talking about the ability to sell options contracts. So if you're new to options trading, most of us, what we do is we buy contracts, right? And then we wait for the price of the stock, the underlying stock, to go in the direction that we want. So the value of our contracts can go up and then we can sell them for a profit. Well, if you own 100 shares of a company, you can sell options contracts and just collect the premiums that options traders are paying to be able to trade. Okay, okay. Sister Big Bone, thank you for coming through. Let's see if I missed anything. All right, all right. Mikey C says you're welcome. I'm gonna hold to see what happens. Justin has said premiums are jacked. Sell the calls. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, okay. I don't know why I feel like I look very let's see if we can cool this off a little bit. Okay. I don't know why I got super tired all of a sudden. Yo, G Man, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. So far, the number one play that we kind of lined out for Monday, which is still a little in between, is potentially if Apple comes down into the support and resistance zone that we charted from way back in the first week, second week of June. I kind of don't like that. What I would like to see is Apple on Monday maybe gap up and come up into this support and resistance area. I could even bring this up a little bit more. Come up into this support and resistance area and then take some puts on the way down. And it even looks like in the post market, which really doesn't mean anything as we know, but it even looks like in the post market, Apple is trying to work its way up. So it'd be nice for it to come back up into here and then take puts on the way down. That would be a good move. That's the main move as of this moment that I'm looking for Monday. All right. All right. But y'all know what it is. Just wanted to tap in, do a trade recap. I had one win, one loss, one green, one red. Kept the day pretty conservative, so I'm not complaining. I'm still in profit for the month of June, so no reason to be upset. But with that being said, I will tap in and check in with y'all later. All right, peace.